Hi, I'm Julia.
And I'm Sue.
And welcome to Sticks and Stones.
Are you guys still doing that podcast?
Today on Sticks and Stones podcast, we'll be working with polymer clay. Come join us.
Welcome back.
It is still summertime, it's August, and finally, yay, we're in the same place.
I know, it's hard to believe, isn't it?
It's been like
hard to believe.
2 months. We have a friend, my dog Barley is joining us today, so Barley,
also
say hi.
known as Craft Hound.
Yes, this is Barley. He's gonna hang.
You must smell like pork chops or
I
something.
don't know what's in my pocket. But yeah, it's been kind of a weird summer. We've been busy doing lots of summertime things and
summertime.
Yeah. So it's going to be a lackadaisical kind of episode.
Yes.
Everything out of the ordinary.
I think every single podcast is a little out of the ordinary,
Yeah,
isn't it?
That's true. It's fun.
This time we have an excuse.
Right. Right. So, but we're glad to be back, and this is going to be good.
Yes. So what have you been working on? You seem like you've been super busy this summer.
You know, there's been a lot of traveling, so actually I've gotten a lot of knitting done in the car, which is good. And then I had events. I had a high school reunion, which is always
Which was like your 10th?
Yeah! No, not really. It was more than that, but you know.
Only a little bit, 12. They do it every 2 years now.
No, it was much more than that, but that's okay. And it was fun, and we visited friends. We drove all around New York to various cities and
Fun.
Pennsylvania. Had reunion for family and reunion with friends, and you know. So, yeah, how about you? What are you doing all summer long?
Traveling too, enjoying. Yeah. Trying to pack in as much fun as possible. You know, all those new things, drive-in movies.
Oh, those are fun.
Tailgating. All these are new concepts to my kids. So they're like, yes, we're going to tailgate for everything. Which is kind of funny because I feed them in the car all the time when we're driving to somewhere, but it's not the same. It's not tailgating.
Right.
So,
that's good.
yeah, Vermont, Indiana.
Nice.
Heading off to Indiana soon, and it's going to be a 14-hour trip, so I thought, wow, I should knit in the car. Wouldn't everyone be impressed if I came back with like
yes, you should.
a scarf this long?
You can do it.
We'll see.
Every time I go somewhere, I mean, at the Knitpocalypse, people kept saying, "Where's Sue? Why isn't she?" And I have to say, I cannot convince her that knitting is a good thing, and they all look at me like I have three heads.
I didn't say it's a bad thing. I just
3 heads. Maybe she won't knit. It's like you can see the convulsions starting. She's not gonna.
Maybe they could have like a whole like panel trying to convince.
There you go. Everybody send Sue good wishes. I will start a thread, and it can be, how can we convince Sue to knit? And maybe,
just maybe
we'll convince you. Because it's fun. No, I of course, having done it for so many years now, it's just like second nature. I don't have to think about it. I can be in the car.
See, that's the thing I have to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, we're driving down the road and there's traffic and I'm knitting away and then the car stops and I'm like, okay. Just go right back to it again. Yeah. I don't watch where we're going. I don't know what's going on around me. I just kind of stick myself in a world and go with it.
Yeah, there you go. This year was the first year I've ever been able to read a book in the car.
Oh.
So usually I get sick because I look around. Okay. I read and then you look around and you read and that makes your car sick. Yeah. So if I can get in the zone and just be like, I don't know which way we're going. I'm just doing what I need to do. You keep driving.
All you people in the back do what I don't care what you're doing back there. Just don't distract the driver. Yeah. No, so I've gotten, actually, and I did Tour de Fleece this summer, which you probably don't know what it is, but hopefully you guys know. It's for during the Tour de France time, instead of riding a bike and spinning, you're spinning on wheels or spindle. So my goal.
So finally, my joke about spinning.
Yeah, it does. It's all meshed together. It's come full circle. So, but my goal was, because I don't do my drop spindle anymore very much. My goal was to spin on my drop spindle 10 minutes a day, which I did. and actually got quite a bit done. And then I spun a gradient that I'll show you guys.
Nice. So let's see them.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, here's the little ball that I made. It's all. It's like 1,000 colors all wrapped together. It's from my Into the World odds and ends.
It's really pretty.
And which I only have like 5 left, and there were 4 ounces in here. So there was a lot of these little guys.
And you just keep adding them to this ball?
Yeah, and eventually I'm going to string them all into one because there's some ends there that I have to deal with. And then I'm going to full it, which is kind of like felting, but not completely, so that it can be a single. And that way all the colors will kind of meld one into the next, and it'll be crazy. And this is the one I'm working on now. There. And underneath this is
I like that color. It's such a
green
beautiful
and blue
autumn color.
Ooh, Riley's got Gumby back there. Yeah, so there's like all of these are different, and all the fibers are different, so it's been really fun to play with. So that's what I've been doing on there, and my gradient is here. And this was also Into the World. It was a bat, which is a big flat bump. Sorry for the noise. And then it came out in all of these colors.
Oh, it's really pretty.
Brown and tan and red and
wow, that is so fall.
so yeah. So I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but they are spun. Spun and done.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was my tour de fleece spinning, and then I've been working since then. Excuse me, on my. These are like Rolex with lots of little things in it. Little pieces of silk and shiny stuff, and
Oh yeah, I see that.
there's a lot of stuff in there, but that's been really fun. I've got one more little bit to do on that, and then I'm going to apply it with some Firestar that I did as a single, which is like super sparkly.
It is, and it's so soft.
Yeah, I don't know what it's made of, but I thought that would look really cool.
People! It's made from people! I'm just kidding.
I know.
That's what, Soylent Green?
Oh, right.
That's this one, right?
Right.
Sorry.
That
was
reference.
If you didn't get the reference, look up Charlton Heston. Charlton Heston, right?
I don't even know.
Yeah, he was the star in that movie.
Yeah.
It's people! I don't know what was called Soylent Green or not, the movie. But anyway.
That's what the
Sorry.
stuff was, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
So anyway, no, I don't think it's made of people.
Probably not. Probably acrylic, but yeah. So that's those are gonna go together. That'll be kind of cool, I think.
Yeah, that'll be pretty.
So that's all my spinning.
Wow, you've been busy.
Yeah, that doesn't count the knitting.
Go ahead.
You don't have anything to show?
I do have lots of stuff to show.
Well, go ahead.
Well,
I don't show something here.
So when I went on vacation to Vermont, like I do every year, and there's a bunch of us that get together and craft. So we were working with metal this year.
Ooh, fun.
And so we took copper
Oh
wire
my gosh, that's gorgeous.
and copper tubing and made. So this one was a piece of copper wire or copper tubing. You know, like you would use it as a water line or whatever. And so we, heated it, annealed it, bent it, banged it with a hammer.
That is so cool.
And this one was another one that we did. That one was a tiny piece of it was very thin copper tubing, and then we used ammonia and salt to color it blue.
That's cool.
So there's all these different ways that you can color copper because it corrodes. And so, yeah, and really what I need to do is get some Renaissance wax and put that over, because then it keeps the color. Otherwise it changes, which is one of the things that people like and don't like about copper, is it changes colors as you wear it. And so it was an experiment, but you take straw and then you can take different types of, they suggested cat litter and coffee beans, but you put that in and then you put a little bit of ammonia and salt, and basically when you put those together, the product that's in the air, because you put it in a closed container, is what causes the patina.
Interesting.
It was really interesting. So if you have it submerged in the ammonia, it doesn't work, but it smells horrible.
I bet, yeah.
Ammonia is awful smelling.
But it's really cool.
But yeah, it's really neat. We did some riveting, and then we also did some etching, which I'd never done before. We did etching with ferric chloride. And so the people at home won't be able to see this, but we'll take a picture. Yeah. But basically you take a Sharpie or a paint pen, and wherever you draw on these, you get the design, and whatever you don't draw on, the ferric chloride eats it away. And so you end up with these designs on...
That's cool.
On these.
So you drew all these freehand?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So I had these, the butterflies I had bought at Hobby Lobby,
Yeah.
or Michael's, and they're just vintage blanks, and you have to polish them with steel wool, because most of those blanks, they come with a coating over them. Usually it's a vinyl, so it keeps its color.
Okay.
But you have to take steel wool and get rid of all of that, and then you do your design and you put them in the ferric chloride for a couple of hours, and you get these designs.
That's
so
very neat.
it's
This
fun.
one reminds me of like an ancient coin.
My daughter did that one, and the way that it ate away, it kind of came out and raised. It almost to me looks religious. The way they show Mary with the rays coming out. So we did some stamping with stamps and different types of annealing. You know, when you heat copper, it changes color, and so and we used a dapping block to make this one.
Oh, bent. Okay.
Yeah. So
Very neat.
yeah, so the friend of mine who was showing us how to do all this stuff, she had bought a lot of it at Harbor Freight, and Harbor Freight is a hardware store, so you can get, you know, copper washers and copper tubing that you use it from hardware, but I didn't realize they have a whole jewelry aisle. So she got her dapping block there.
Okay.
The dapping block is a block of wood, and it has holes in it that are concave, convex. They dip.
Yeah.
Convex, I don't remember. This way, and then you take a big metal piece that fits in there, has a ball on the end, and you tap it, and that's what spreads the washer out and makes it
like a bowl.
Concave, convex. This is concave, right?
Cave means in.
Right, so this is, I don't remember. Anyway, maybe I need to go back to some science class.
Yeah.
But anyway, what makes that shape? But she got it at Harbor Freight, so
cool.
I'm gonna have to make
Field
a visit to there. Yes.
I don't even know where it is, but
I don't even know. There's one around here somewhere, but I have to go find it.
that'd be cool.
So, yeah. So I've been doing a lot of metal work this summer, making some more coffee cups, which I forgot to bring, but you know. Getting into some stuff I haven't done in a while.
Yeah, summertime's good for that kind of thing.
Yes, it is. It is. So we'll see what the rest of the summer brings.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I'll knit. Who knows?
Well, I'll show you my knitting now.
Okay.
This is like my big, huge project. This is done in, I always call it the wrong yarn. The white yarn is, I think it's Savannah. And the purple is my hand spun.
The purple is so beautiful.
And now I'm blanking on the name of the pattern. I don't remember what it was.
You can always include it when you show the picture.
It's Melii. M-E-L. I'll write it down. Anyway, it's supposed to be solid, and because I knew I wouldn't have enough of the white, I decided to stripe it, and then because it actually had short rows, so built this way, I decided to do short rows this way and work from long to short so that I would hopefully have enough yarn, and it turned out like I had this much left at the end. I mean, literally, I was down to the wire. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to make it, but I did.
Wow.
And so this is what I wore to my high school reunion.
That is so pretty.
And it was big enough. I wanted something that I could, because, you know, I'm thinking cool summer night, that I could wrap around if I was chilly, but if I didn't want to have it up on my shoulders, I could just kind of lay it and let it kind of hang around my arms, and it was perfect. It worked just right, so I felt all fancy.
All the stars aligned on that one.
Yeah, I felt all fancy, and I did it in a week.
Wow.
I was like, God, you know, so yeah, this was my big success this summer. So I really like that. And, well, I guess I shouldn't say my big success. My other one is I made a sweater.
That's so pretty.
And this is my design, and it does not have a name yet, but I'm making a second one in a solid to send out to test knitters, and then hopefully I can have it written
Looks
up.
like a beach to me. You know,
Yeah.
the colors.
Yeah, this was totally a fluke. Like, I had this yarn lying around, and I didn't know if I'd have enough. I didn't know how the colors were going to turn out. I had no idea it was going to stripe. You know, just all of these unknowns. So this has been a really good summer for surprises.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just going for it.
Yeah.
Not worrying about it.
So I need a name.
Because then it would have been a half shirt if you hadn't had enough yarn, right?
Yes. Well, I started at bottom up, and that's why it's contrasted at the top, because I didn't think I'd have enough of the blue. So I did that purposefully with another shade.
But I think it looks nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
So that's that. Little tank top.
Cute. I like it a lot.
It's a linen cotton blend. And then my kids and I have been we've been dyeing yarn in the crock pot again, just kind of playing with colors. And so we made this one with blue and purple.
Nice.
And This one with orange and blue, which I think is pretty cool. And then this is my attempt at black. I have never gotten food coloring to be solid black, and I think it's just the nature of the mixture of the dye. And this, what I did is I dyed it first underneath with navy blue, and then put the black on top. And I kept the white. I put it in baggies and used like chip clips to keep the white out. The one thing I noticed, and this was pretty funny, when I left, the baggies were all empty. When I came back, the baggies were completely full of water, but the water was clear. So the yarn in the crock pot soaked up all the dye, and then the yarn that was in the baggies soaked up all the water. So my crock pot was down like by half. The bags were busting with water, but none of it, or very little of it, got onto the white.
Was the water condensing in the bags?
I think it was wicking up. Like, it was just moving up the length of the yarn. It was cool. So I'm like, whoa, that's interesting. I had no idea it would do that continuously. So we've had
That's really cool.
Yeah, and it's just like the kids have enjoyed picking out the color combinations, and then we'll take turns going in and adding another drop here and there, and it's been a fun thing. It's all, you know, food safe, so we did that.
I was at the farmer's market, the Easton Farmer's Market on Saturday, and I bought a bouquet of flowers, and I said to the woman, what are these little pods?
Yeah.
And she said, oh, they're from an indigo plant.
Oh, fun.
And she said, you know, they crushed it up to make the indigo color. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that would be really interesting. I'm going to see how to do this, right? So I went online and looked it up. One, it's a very complicated process. Yes. Two, you don't get it from the pods. You actually get it from the green leaves. And it was
from the leaves.
Yes, and it's like they take the leaves and they dry them, and then they make this ball and they let it dry, and then they pound it or something. But there's something really, the way you dye with indigo is totally different than the way you dye with anything, because it will not absorb water unless it's an anaerobic environment. So you have to add lye to take all the oxygen out of the water, and then it will
toxic. And
so yeah, it's very. But you know, you get it sold in cakes basically. But to break the cake apart, you have to add lye to the water to take out the oxygen. I was like, yeah, I don't think we're gonna do this.
Maybe we'll just go and get some like walnut shells.
Yeah, but I was thinking that it was really interesting reading, and in the process, I came across a magazine called Hand and Eye.
Okay.
And it's a magazine out of Shelter Island, New York, and it's all about handcraft of the world. And so each issue is, you know, like South Africa is a region of the world, and all the different crafts. They're basically native to the area. And one issue was all about color and how people get different colors.
Yeah.
And really fascinating magazine.
Yeah, I know purple was very, very, like, that's why it was royal, because it was so hard to get. So, you know, whatever they had to do, the bugs, or I don't know.
Oh, right.
Something like crushing like how many you needed to make that depth of color, and I cannot imagine what, like the skill that people had years ago, that it's not lost, but because things are so much easier now that we just don't know how to do it.
Right.
And we don't want to take the time to do it. Like it just amazes me.
Yes. It's true. Well, and you have to think, how did they end up getting indigo out of these leaves? You know, how did they figure that out? Because they're green. Yeah. And they said too, when you use it to dye, it starts blue, and then it turns yellow, and then it turns green, and then it turns, when you're done, it turns back to blue. And I saw a picture with jars, and you could see the gradients of blue, green, and yellow in the jar.
That is so very interesting.
Yeah. Makes you want to work with it. But everybody had gloves on.
Well, I bet, you know, this is where my imagination says probably somebody was doing like laundry and had lye soap in a pot with their stuff that they were washing, and a leaf fell in,
right?
And all of a sudden their clothes are turning colors, and I can only imagine that's something like that. I don't know. Anyway, that's cool.
Yeah. So we have. Do you have anything else to share?
No, not finished.
We have raffle.
Yes, we do. We have giveaways. Last time I had put out that we were doing the box bag drawing and the stitch marker drawing, so I have all of that today. So, are we ready?
We're ready.
We're ready. Okay. The lovely box bag in purple chevron from Dreams of Fiber goes to number 18 on the list, which is Wall Ball 28. WOLBOL 28. So you can send me your address and I'll mail this to you. Congratulations. Yay.
Yay.
beautiful bag. And Gail has put out a coupon code which is on the box bag giveaway thread. So you guys can go and get that coupon code and get yourself a bag if you weren't the winner.
This looks like it's perfect for knitting.
It really is. It fits a lot of yarn. I've got like 4 balls in mine.
Nice.
And it's got a nice handle and
Yeah.
So
needles fit in there nicely.
yeah, it's a very nice size. So, and she would appreciate your support. She contacted me. She's a friend of mine from years past, and she's a college student again as an adult and is trying to earn money for her next semester. So all of this is going towards her education, which will be very helpful for her.
Yes.
So there's that, and then we had the stitch marker drawing. I have 2 boxes of stitch markers, one from my roommate at Zombie Apocalypse and one from one of the vendors, and this one's empty but will be filled. I'm going to show you what it's going to have in it later. But the Blessings Angel stitch markers go to number 5 from the thread, which is Grammy Knitterbug. And the box from Daisy Knits goes to number 11, and I'm going to say this wrong, but I think it's Pokdej, P-O-K-D-E-J. So you guys let me know and I will send you your markers. And then last we have our whip cowl still going on, and people are still adding things as we go over the course of the year. So everybody who has entered anything up from January till the end of July is in this drawing, and the winner this month is number 28, which is Same Old Knit. So you can send me a message and I will get you out of all this skein yarn.
Lots of people to send things to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a good giveaway month. So thanks everybody for coming and joining in on those giveaways. And the whip cowl will continue for another 6 months, however many is left in the year. It's August now, so whatever's left, it'll keep on going. So keep putting your finished whips onto the thread, and that'll be there.
Great. So we're off to play with clay now, right?
Yeah, we're gonna try clay. Neither one of us is very good at clay, so who knows?
Really good experiment.
So, but we can show you kind of what we've learned by playing around with it, and maybe you guys can throw some suggestions out to us too. So
join us.
Yeah. For today's DIY, we're going to work on swirled polymer clay beads. For this project, you're going to need a couple specific things that you can get at any craft store. You're going to want some kind of roller so you can flatten out the clay. You'll need a knife, X-Acto knife, or a sharper plastic knife in order to cut the beads. You're going to need some polymer clay in whatever color choices that you prefer. You're going to need something to poke the hole to create the bead so that you can string them later, either a toothpick or a wire of some sort. And then you'll need a flat surface. So the beads I'm working on, I just used 2 colors, and mine are blue and purple. And they're just real simple, but I'm going to do a higher contrast multicolor one here to show you guys. So first, you're going to want to get out your clay. I have a couple different shades of yellow here, and what you do is you just want to roll it into a ball in whatever manner works for you, and then kind of press it down, make it flat, and use your rolling pin to really flatten it out to whatever thickness you want. Mine only had 2 colors, so I didn't make them real thin. But if you want more than 2, and depending on the size bead you're looking for, you'll want to change the thickness accordingly. So now I'll just use a slightly different shade of yellow. I mixed the yellow with a little bit of brown for this. Smush it down a bit, and I'm just going to stick it right on top and then roll it again. So you're going to get multiple layers of color. I'll do kind of a gold this time. Again, rolling it up into a little ball, put it on top and smush it down, and then roll it. And what this will do is kind of create a striping effect when you cut the beads in half. And then I'll do one more just to see. This one's deep brown. So you've got all these colors kind of rolled together now. You can take your knife and turn it so you can roll it the other way too. And when you get it to about the thickness that you want, you just take it and you roll it up like a jelly roll or a pumpkin roll. Just roll it up in a spiral. And then I roll it a couple more times to get those edges stuck together. You can make it longer if you think it's too fat. You can roll it a little bit harder to make it longer. These are not going to be perfect. They're done by hand. There's no specific tool, so you're going to find different shapes and thicknesses as you go. So now what I do is I just have this little roll and I cut the ends off. Try not to squish it too much. And if you look carefully, you can see there's a bunch of colors there in the center. So now I'm just going to cut it into about the same thickness across. Ah, this one looks more like a gradient than a spiral. It's very interesting. You never really know what you're going to get. So after you have a couple, you can shape them back to the shape you want them to be. I just gently roll them and kind of pat down the edges. These got a little squished in the cutting process. And when they are the shape that you like, you take your toothpick or your little wire and just poke right through the center where you want your hole to be for stringing. And just leave it on there and it could spin freely. You can fit 2, 3, maybe even 4 if they're small of these on one wire. But you don't want them to touch, because when you bake these, you don't want them to touch or they'll stick together. So you put a couple on your wire or your toothpick, and then what you do at the end is set them on a piece of foil and bake them in the oven for 20 minutes at 250 degrees. And when they're done, they'll come out and they'll be nice and hard. You can glaze them if you want to make them shiny, or just leave them as is, and see, they still roll very freely, and you can just pop them off and then restring them on whatever you would like to make them into. So I think I'm gonna actually make some of the stitch markers out of these. I think that'll be fun. And put a little a coordinating bead on it, and then a ring. Nice. Should be kind of cute, I think. My yellow ones, look, they do look a lot like jelly rolls. And then I just made some brown ones. Sue's got this cool piece of equipment here.
I do.
And it makes really nice shaped beads.
Yes. You can make 3 different, it's called a tri-bead roller. And you just put a hunk of clay, a hunk of clay. You do have to condition the clay a little.
Yeah,
you have to squish it to make it soft.
Add a little bit of water if you need to.
And then you choose your shape. There's a bicone, which is 2 triangles together. There's oval and there's round. And you just stick it in whichever channel you want. You put this on, and you roll it back and forth. If you have too much clay, it gets oblong, or it else squishes up to the sides. So this one had a little bit too much clay on it. I'm going to take a little bit off and redo it. But you end up with really nice smooth beads if that's what you like, rather than, as my friend calls it, the organic look.
Organic?
Organic, actually, but when it's, everything's not, I just totally smashed that. That's a neat shape, but
not what you were going for?
No, not really. But if you like everything to be consistent and the same shape and the same size and everything, this is a great option. You just roll it back and forth, and they get really smooth.
Yeah, that's really neat.
And it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
You just pick these little things off the edge. That's the extra clay. But they'll all be the same shape and size, and I actually combine a couple different colors together to make different ones.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
And then you can make other stuff. Like I was just playing around and made this silly sunflower. And
yeah,
mine's not nearly as nice looking as yours.
I was experimenting with, I put 3 colors together in a row, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half, and I'm going to roll it one way and roll it the other way and see what happens. So I'm going to cut it in half this way.
Oh, I bet you can make some really interesting like chevron-y looks by drawing that knife through it.
Oh yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
So I'm going to roll this one this way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to roll this one this way.
Ah. Yeah, I'm all about chevrons.
And see what happens. Clay, once you start using it, you just kind of...
It's fun.
It's an addiction.
Yeah. Yeah, this starter kit I got was not much, which is nice. It's, you know, you can get just a couple colors and a couple tools, and it wasn't too bad to just play with. Obviously, if you want to get all the colors and all the, you know, it can be an investment like any other craft.
So your kids have been playing with this a lot too.
Yeah, they have.
Making more than beads.
Oh yeah, my oldest daughter got this book for her birthday. It's a Klutz book, Make Clay Charms, and you know they're really cute. And of course the kids love them because there's food. Like here's some tacos.
Because who doesn't want a taco?
Yeah, and there's like little animals, and let me see if I can find a really cute one. Donuts, lollipops, you know, all the good stuff. Here, those are the foods. Where's the, there we go, there's a little owl. They're just really darn cute. And it comes with a glaze and some chains and
so you can make glazed donuts?
You could. But she made, I mean, we're talking, she was not 9 when she got it. She made a little marshmallow and some graham crackers and put little faces on them all. The marshmallow has fallen off, so we have to re-glue the eye pin. But they're really cute, and they were super fun for her. So this is a nice craft for kids too. Just have to remember to wash your hands before you eat, because I think it technically is toxic.
How about that?
And you want to put foil down on your baking tray, obviously, before you bake it, because you don't want to have this mixing with food. But it's not a super high temperature project. It's not a real, you know, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, so the ones I rolled one way, you get the jelly donut effect, or the jelly roll. These, they would just be solid colors.
Oh, I see.
But then I saw someone do a polymer clay demonstration once, and you can keep rolling them in different directions.
Okay.
You can keep folding and rolling, and then you get different swirls. So if I do this...
That's really pretty, actually. It's all kind of squishing together.
Mm. And the other thing you can do is, if you want to have consistent... if you want when you're smoothing it, if you want it to be consistent, what you can do is take playing cards and stack them up. So you could put like 4 on each side, and then when you roll it, it will only go as flat as the playing cards if you're looking to make everything look the same. But then you can pick it up.
You got a lot of tips.
And roll it the other way. I know somebody who's a polymer clay artist, and she does amazing stuff. Because the thing with polymer clay is, there's so many techniques. This is one of those crafts that has come a long way just in the last few years. And, you know, you can make it look like bone, you can make it look like wood. But if you keep folding it and keep smashing it, you get different things.
That's really interesting.
That's how they get the gradients, is they run them through pasta makers.
Yeah, you can get some things that'll make a nice flat squished even sheet.
But anyway, I'm not sure what's going to happen here. I don't know enough about it to be able to be consistent and know what I'm going to end up with.
I don't either.
But that looks really pretty, doesn't it?
It does. That's neat.
Alright, so then if we roll this up this way, that in itself is really pretty.
Yeah. You could even leave them longer beads. You don't have to cut them short if you would rather they be long.
If I cut this. Whoa!
Oh my gosh, there's 1,000 colors in there.
Oh my gosh, it's so swirly.
That's so cool.
Wow.
Very nice. That's how you do it.
Cool.
Now we know. You discovered the technique.
It's just, you gotta know what you're doing if you want it to look a specific way. Wow, look at how different they are because they rolled. Like one end the other one's very orange and one's very purple.
That's very cool. I'm gonna throw some glue in. I like your clay better. It's not as dry as mine.
I don't really know why. Because I keep it in a What's the thing you put cigars in?
Airtight container. Oh, humidor.
I have a clay humidor.
And a humidifier.
No, I don't. They're in these IKEA boxes. It says clay number 1, and that one says clay number 2 because there's 2 boxes. These turned out really cool though.
Yeah, those are really cool. I'm gonna try that. I have 3 colors now. How many colors did you use?
I used 4.
And this one has sparkles in it.
Do you want to roll it on?
Yeah.
I'll play with these.
Yeah, you also want to protect your table. It's not probably the best idea to use clay on a wood table, as we've been doing all morning. We have been also using Model Magic with the kids, which is air dry, and it's Crayola. It's, you know, brand name, a little name dropping here, but
we're allowed to because we live for Crayola, where it's made.
Right. But it's nice, and I think that one's non-toxic, if I'm not mistaken. So
plus
that's
you can
really
color
good.
it. So this is the end.
Oh, fun.
I cut off the end and I just made it into a ball. And it's all
Fun,
fun colors.
Okay, so you did that, and then you folded it in half. Yeah, what did you do?
You
So
want
we
me to
can
repeat
recreate
that?
We can recreate it, then we'll really know what we're doing. All right, so I'm gonna...
Just try folding in half in a different way.
Yeah.
I think I rolled it up. Remember I rolled it up and then I smashed it again.
Right. Okay, so I folded it. Well, that's just gonna be on top of itself. That was not gonna do me any good. Well, anyway. It's still kind of cool. That's the color in the center is swirling.
Together, right? Yeah. Try rolling it up and then doing it. And
Rolling it up the long way, or no? You did it this way, because we're like, oh, it's just a stripe.
Right, I did. I rolled it up that way, and then
you smushed it again.
I smushed it again.
So anyway,
This is not the scientific method. I shouldn't have to be able to repeat my results.
our oldest 2 are at like academic camp today, so they're learning all about the scientific method, and we're just being creative.
That's right. That's right.
So,
Well, this is fun.
yeah. Thanks for joining us again today, as always. And we will try to be more consistent, but I'm glad you guys stuck around and came back to see us.
I hope you're enjoying your summer.
Yeah. And let's get Sue to knit.
All
That's the challenge for this month. Get Sue to knit.
right, we'll see what happens.
All right, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
How's it going? Now you're getting all the colors smushed together,
Yeah.
right? I couldn't even tell you how I did it. I just know that you keep folding and folding